all of you in this room are Christian or have come from Christian background, not maybe practicing at the moment. So you must say that something is amiss when the founder of Christianity in the West, as we know it, speaks like this. This is really, none of us would approve of this, I believe. Right? But I never hear anyone calling out against it. So if I do it, you must forgive me. I don't think that is, Jesus Christ is, again, I'm not a preacher, but I don't think anyone who objects to my approach to things, Jesus Christ himself would not approve of such a presentation. If I were to know anything about Jesus as he's presented as being, this would be totally beyond the pale. This is the kind of approach that took over the Roman Empire in the 300s, because the writer of that, who writes those words, but is he feeling any pity for anybody? Not really. He enjoys it. He likes it. He likes the fact that they're undergoing this. And he wants to describe it. It would be like someone going to the Warsaw Ghetto after World War II and saying, oh, this was wonderful. You see, they really got what they deserved in gas chambers and things like that, and people lying on the street starving to death and so on. We've done archaeological digs even on those caves where holdouts were in the second uprising. And Noelle's been out there and she's seen some of those caves. I'm not talking about the uprising from 66 to 70, but the one from 132 to 136 that was called the Bar Kokhba uprising. And these cave of horrors, as they are called, because in the caves, the Roman troops were apparently on top of the precipice, and the people had gone to these caves. Therefore we have letters in these caves, so we know something about the people, because they brought their valuables with them and they thought that they would be safe in these caves. But the Roman troops would be on top of the caves, and those people did not perish in battle, or they perished out of starvation in the caves. That's how they all perished, and their bodies are laid out in the caves on mats and things like that. The Romans didn't go down and get into the caves and kill them all with swords. All those people died of starvation in those caves. And even in 136, this was going on in the Bar Kokhba uprising. So this didn't just end in 62, 66. Now, my heart pities these people, and my pity goes out to them. And that these kinds of accusations should still be going around 20 centuries later, just it seems to me to be the power of literature. And so therefore I'm dealing with the literature here, and I feel that we have some obligation to try to, not discredit, no, penetrate the literature, understand it deeper, and maybe get rid of some of this spin agenda, because there is an agenda. For some reason, the people like Eusebius and other people, they get the message from Acts here. This is the message of Acts, of the chapters we have been reading. It's repeated over and over again. So they get the message. So these the writers also had that message here. And for some reason, they felt in order to convert large numbers of people, they needed to imbue them with this hatred also. We see it in the Islamic world now. I mean, there's vast amounts of hatred being whipped up in the Islamic world. And it's somewhat based on the same materials. And you see how powerful this can be. 20 centuries later, we see the same thing. So the little things that we do in this class, I think, are quite harmless by comparison. So I hope you will not be too, blame me too much if I overdo it. I do apologize. I overdo it just to try to balance some of this material. Okay, let's see. So we were reading Galatians last time, and we got, for instance, let's see where we were. We had Stephen's speech that we dealt with, and notice that we see the same thing in Stephen's speech. It's perfect in embodiment of what I'm talking about. 51, 52 of chapter 7. Oh, you stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears. Uncircumcised in heart and ears actually will be something in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Not in heart and ears, but uncircumcised in heart. The people who are uncircumcised in heart and flesh, not heart and ears, should not enter the temple, based on the prophet Ezekiel's similar discussion. So the people writing these speeches know a lot about the themes that were floating around in that period. Which one of the prophets did your fathers not persecute? And they killed the ones who prophesied the coming of the righteous one, whom you now become the betrayers and murderers. And you received the law to angels, but you did not keep it. That is basically the accusation, and that goes down through the centuries and has gone into the Quran, and then permeates the whole Islamic world too, because Muhammad obviously was brought up on some of this material. It's supposed to be the Quran from an angel, just as some of the angels are spoken about here, but I think we can safe to say that human intelligence is at work in these documents, unfortunately. If it were from an angel, we'd be in better shape, I think. If there aren't any angels out there, I wish there were a few. Okay, so we did the material about Philip and the Ethiopian queen's eunuch's baptism, and Philip ending up, though he was on his way to Gaza, somehow ending up in Caesarea. Now, again, to emphasize the oddness of that, I'll draw the map that we've had before. It's an easy map, of course. Here is Jerusalem. This we know now is Gaza down here. So Philip is on his way like this when he bumps into the Ethiopian somewhere, and this is the gateway to Egypt. So that's why I think they're on their way. The grain buying people, the treasury agents of queens like Queen Helen, are on their way to get grain from Egypt to bring back to relieve the famine in the early 40s. It's all in Josephus and in Eusebius' book. I think that's what's being parodied here in the book of Acts. This becomes an Ethiopian queen. I think that I told you the reason for that. I think there's one other correspondence. Not only the black and darkness is involved there, and the circumcision involved in the eunuch parody. As I told you, circumcision being regarded by the Roman law of, and this, by the way, will be the name of the Roman centurion we're going to meet in a moment. I think this is one of the most important and most underestimated things in this period. The law of Cornelia regarding the Sicarii and bodily mutilation. Sicarii is to the knife you used to eunuch yourself, castrate yourself. And this was attributed to Cornelius, which is why I think the Roman centurion here is now going to be called Cornelius. The writers know all these